Hi Pisces, thanks for joining me. Let's do you guys a 3-card tarot spread with some oracle for significance as well. And we kind of get a better idea of where it's all pointing then. This is divine mystery that goes on in these readings, so I'm always grateful for a bit more input. Anyway, let's have the first card please in this spread. And for you guys Capricorn, the first card out in this reading is the Four of Wands. Looking pretty good. I often say sitting pretty when this card comes up because this is a real good situation to be in. Alice has got her house there. Hint here is that it's a house of cards and they don't always stand up too good. But in front of that, she's got the Four Wands there. And so it's 4 square. It's contentedness. It's being in a good place. It's having a solid platform underneath you as you stand up there. Now, the only trouble is that although this is a very verdant card and there is lots of green energy in it, showing kind of nature supporting things, we've got some slanty clouds and a rather difficult sky hanging overhead there. So all is not as perfect as it seems in this card, but it is a 4, it's the angel number, it's really positive, and because it's a Wands card, it's fire sign energy, so it's Aries, Leo or Sagittarius around you, or maybe those things in your own chart. Different strokes for different folks, isn't that always the way? But look, she's got her animal friends around, she's got 3 cats around her, so she's got her animal spirit guides on board, and that is really important, so do pay attention to the animals around you, Pisces, when this card has come up, for at least the next few days anyway, because we can learn a lot from animals, and actually inspiration can come in as well. I've been very interested in the shamanic journey ever since I got into mediumship, because people told me I was going to be a medium, people told me this, that and the other, all of which has been true, but no one ever told me I was going to be a shaman. I guess that's not my path, but it's very interesting. And so I've experimented with it, and at times when I'm meditating, an animal will come to me or an insect will fly in, and inspiration will come. And I can see now why shamanic people say that they can kind of talk to animals and animals tell them things. The best example of this ever was I was in a relationship which would have absolutely killed me dead if I'd kept on in this relationship. I mean, it was absolutely hopeless, but it had been such big love at the beginning, so good, so enthusiastic a thing to start with, that I didn't want to give up just yet. I was pretty sure by this point it wasn't going to work, and I didn't think this lady was doing my daughter any good either. So I was sitting there thinking, how can I change this? And a moth flew in. And I didn't think this moth had come to talk or anything, I didn't really believe in things like that. And I just got this strong feeling in this head that this, and they gave her name, is no good for you. So sorry for the children, this voice also said inside my head. And then the moth flew away, and that was the last I kind of thought of that. So I'm sure it was inspiration that came in. But it's not that easy to listen to. Many people hearing me say that will just think I've gone mad and you can't talk to a moth. But friends, look, if you believe that a deck of cards can unlock the secrets of the universe, then why can't a moth? Right, massive digression there, but I'm still on the point because look, it's these cats in the card. We've got to listen to our animal companions. They're called familiars for a reason, okay? Witches call them familiars, and a lot of spiritual people call them familiars. Those that don't simply don't understand why we're actually drawn to have animals around us, why we would want animals in our lives. So I'm now saying, tell me more, please, about the first card in this spread for the sign of Pisces, which is the Four of Wands. Tell me more about the Four of Wands, please. And we've got fuel, emotion. Now, many 5-pointed stars around this lady's head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 5-pointed stars around this lady, so a great deal of magic. But it's at 9, it's kind of not quite on the 10 that we associate with completion, but we've got the 5-pointed star here, a much bigger one, swimming towards us. It's the same size really, it just looks bigger because it's closer to us as we look at this. It seems far away from her, but we can see it's nearly there. Okay, so good things are coming in a way that we probably haven't perceived. I don't like to go in for mights and maybes, but this is such a fluid energy. It's bound to be so different for so many different people. people. And it's really positive, though. It's a 5-pointed star coming in. If this was a tarot card, it would be a pentacle, I reckon. So it's earth sign energy. But hey, there you go. That's just my interpretation, you know. Interpretations and how good they are can certainly vary. The truth of this card is that fuel here, just like you in this situation, Pisces, have a lot of emotions around you. Looks like the answers are far away, but you're up on a rock out of the water, so things aren't that bad. There's a good chance of being rescued if you're up on a rock out of the water. And look, that star, which that 5-pointed star, right? It's about fire energy, water energy, air energy, and earth energy. All the elements working together under the guidance of spirits. So your angels are on the case helping with this as well. This is very close to the divine. And so are you, or at least so is your situation or plight or whatever the situation might be. It is actually being acted on and noticed and taken care of by the angels. So easy to say that, you know, so easy to say that, but these things play out in real life one way or another in the end, and that's how I've come to believe it. You know, I got tarot readings many years ago. It was early 1980s. Wasn't sure if I believed them, but I was intrigued and fascinated by the cards, so I took them up. I've been doing this since 1985, not on YouTube obviously, but I've been doing this since 1985, and I've just come to believe it because over time things come true, not always in the way you would expect them to come true, but gosh, they come true in quite a big way. So let's shuffle again and say, give us the next card please in this reading for the sign of Pisces. Give us the next card for Pisces, please. And we've got 9 of Swords. Long dark night of the soul, I often think when this comes up. And it's not just one night either. This is the kind of situation where you can't stop waking up at silly o'clock in the morning and just wondering what on earth you're going to do about all these problems that come around you. And I'm really sorry to see this card because I've been in this situation a lot actually in the last sort of year and a half. This has just happened a lot. All these swords hanging over my head, and I'd wake up in the night and think, well, I'm screwed, there's nothing I can do about it. But I actually found out, and it was this card that did it. It's just after I bought this deck, I pulled this card and I read what it said in the book about it, and I just realised, no, I can. And I've been doing this. I've been taking the swords down one at a time and sorting them out. They're not all sorted out yet, but I've got more than half of them sorted out, and that tells me that I can do it. I can fix these things in my life. I can get that forward motion in. It's better to light a candle and sit in darkness, friends. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m. like a wet tea towel in the bed, have a word with your spirit guide for one thing, because that's not really good spirit contact when it hurts, when it's really uncomfortable like that. But the main thing, guys, is problems hanging over your head, or at least problems you think are hanging over your head. Get up, do something about one of those problems during your long dark night of the soul, and things will begin to improve a lot. You'll find you can do something about something. Maybe you can't fix everything, but you can do something about something, and then life's story gets a happier twist to it, and you get that feeling of progress, which is so good. I am already shuffling and saying, tell me more about the 9 of Swords, but I would very much like a quick drink of tea before I do that. Earl Grey with 1 sugar. If you only take 1 sugar in your beverage, you hardly ever need to go to the dentist. Whenever I go for a checkup, I don't need much done because of sugar. Right, let's not pontificate about sugar anyway. Let's say, tell us more about the 9 of Swords, please, in this reading for the sign of Pisces. And we have, let me, it's 2 together. And second time today I've had 2 together. They're really active. They're trying to tell us what's going on. So telling us more about that long dark night of the soul, all those problems that we need to fix in the 9 of Swords. First one out is hidden worlds, okay? So the answers aren't really obvious, and this is why it tends to be kind of waking up at night comes into this a lot, because it's the brain trying to work out what's going on, we don't really know. And the answers are hidden, but we all have a world within ourselves. We don't always have access to these thoughts, to these feelings, because they're often thoughts and feelings that came to us in childhood as we were growing up. And the mind locks them away in the subconscious bit. We don't have conscious access to it, but it does come through in dreams quite a lot. That's how it works. So think about your hidden worlds. There's a lot of emotion in this card, eh? Looks like a lot of crying going on with this lady, but I can see the hint of a smile playing around her lips, so things are going to improve. And they're going to improve because she's got her eyes closed and she's looking into the world inside her. It's almost the Hermit card in some ways. So that's Hidden Worlds. Also, that came up as an explanation, and this is for the Nine of Swords, Archangel Israfel, and it's all about music. So, not just music, you know, I think kind of the music of the heart, the music of life, if you like, the rhythm of life. It's not always actually about music, but this certainly is about being creative, and it certainly is about artistic expression. So that's strong there. And that is just bound to be uplifting after we've been in this situation with all the tears. Bit of upliftment is needed, and when the card comes in, it's on its way, but the energy say you're going to have to do something, go out somewhere, get a ticket to go and see something you really want to see. That will do you no harm at all, friends. I wouldn't put it on a credit card, okay, but you've had enough of my mumsy advice today, I'm sure. Let's have the third card in this spread, please, for the sign of Pisces. Which is happening just about the beginning of August. I'm doing this on the 30th of July, so by the time you're watching it, it's pretty much going to be August. Okay, so what is the outcome card? And it is, do come here, the Hierophant. Gosh, a bit like what came up actually for Aquarius a minute ago. Different card, but same idea. Number 5, the Hierophant. Now Alice is actually well along the journey here. She's going to need some advice. Can you really get good advice from a cat? Who knows? But you can get good advice from this one because it's a spiritual kind of a character. Our spirit guides don't always come through looking like people. They can come through looking like animals, like insects, like a moth, for example, as I was saying. Or quite often they just come as an idea as well. They don't have to kind of appear physically or look physical or anything. They are around us all the time though, and they are pouring in advice. So remember, the ancestors are close. And if you don't know the shot, if you don't know really where you're headed, get some advice from someone. Even if you're still none the wiser, don't let that put you off embarking on your spiritual journey, because you'll notice things falling into place, and when you're ready, you're ready. Very much different strokes for different folks' energy in this, you know, it really is. So many people watch these readings, it could mean just about anything, but it's certainly about not just being on your own, but actually getting other people's ideas involved with this, and actually listening to your guides. And that would be a great thing to do instead of worrying when you wake up in the middle of the night, Pisces. It would. Because I know you guys like to have a lot of energy to help other people and not just yourselves. And that dark night thing, when you really feel you can't do anything about anything, it's not just holding you up, it's holding up your plans, your projects, and anybody you'd like to be out there doing it for, to get things flowing, to get things helping. Okay, so telling us more about that, we have Time, and it's the Micah card. And this always reminds me of Micah, the prophet in the Bible, who was writing in 900 BC. And it's almost funny when you read Micah, because the things he's complaining about are just about the same things we're complaining about today. And he's saying that, oh, another few years it'll be the end of the world. And it still hasn't been. In getting on for 3,000 years now. Okay, so do not worry, do not fret about things that you don't think can possibly work out, because they can. Okay, we have to give it time sometimes, and this card shows that there is actually time to get things done. It all goes in cycles. Yeah, this is very much where you're going to be, Pisces, right? Really, not just embarking on a journey, but ready for the next leg of the journey, needing some advice about it. But there's time, and it goes in cycles. If it doesn't work out this time, it'll work out next time, because there are 9 swords to deal with here. It's not going to work out overnight, but just deal with one of those swords, Pisces, and you'll have a smile on your face, because then you'll realise you can deal with the other 8. And that does make it the number 8, the as above, so below, spiritual guidance, spiritual help, blessings coming in. Right, I'm going to say blessings to you guys. Thanks very much for watching. Thumbs up, please, if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And do tap the bell so you don't miss anything. Big thanks from me to everyone who's subscribed. I really appreciate it. And thank you for all the views. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. And I'll be back soon with more readings. Have a great day. Have a great week, Pisces. Peace.